Good afternoon guys, Dark Purple Shadow here. Today I'm going to be looking at the RTX 4000 series and I'm going to be making a little tier list telling you which ones are good, which ones are mediocre, and the few that I think are complete trash. So let's start off with the 4060, the baby of the gang. I think this is a solid D tier, a high D tier, but in terms of this sort of price point for $279 or $300, you can do a lot better than a 4060. And realistically, you should be going for AMD at this price point. To be honest, maybe it's not a D tier, maybe it's more of a low C tier. But yeah, that's what I feel. Because it's not terrible, but there's better. Straight off the bat, the 4060, same kind of position. Not an amazing card, not a terrible card. However, wouldn't recommend it either. The 4060 Ti, again, you're stuck with 8GB of RAM, VRAM, GDDR6X, but still you're stuck with it. I have that on my almost decade-old 1080, so I guess, you know, it's not a terrible card, but you could do a lot better. Next card we're looking at, the humble RTX 4070. I'll be honest, this one for me has to be a D tier. There's a few reasons for this. First and foremost, you're stuck with the weakest of, in my opinion, the mid-end cards. And realistically, it's not even a mid-end card. It's what really the 4060 should have been. However, it cost a whopping $550 when it came out. Realistically, if you bought this and the 4070 Super came out, you would have felt very silly because there's an over 1000 CUDA core difference between the two at the same clocks. Now my list here is purely vibes, but just in terms of numbers, there's a big discrepancy there. The 4070 Ti, now it's an improvement. However, I don't think I can put it even, you know what, I don't know if I can really put it in the B tier because of the 12GB of GDDR6X. It's not a no-brainer here. It's a better card, but it's not amazing either. Beyond that, we have now the 4070 Super, which came out after the 4070 Ti. And the 4070 Super is, for all intents and purposes, a pretty good card. Now, in terms of the pictures, they look the same, but I believe this is the 4070 Super. It's a good card. It improved on a lot that the 4070 didn't do well, and the price point is decent. I'd give it a B tier because of the improvement over the 4070. You've got a big jump in CUDA cores. You didn't lower the price, but realistically you lowered the price because it only went up $50. The 4070 can sit happily at the lowest low of the B tier, just barely scraped the B tier. We have next the 4070 Ti Super. I think this is a low A tier. Now hear me out. All of the issues that I've had with the 4070s, the 4070 Ti Super sort of fixed. It came out at the same price as the 4070 Ti, gave you more CUDA cores, almost 1000 more CUDA cores, same clock rate, and most importantly, you get that 16GB of VRAM, which actually makes it a compelling card. I don't think you need much more than 16GB realistically. It's a good place to be. It's not, I wouldn't consider it super high end in terms of the amount of VRAM you get compared to the AMD contemporaries. But is it terrible? No. Is it a weak point? No. I'd say that's the biggest strength. And this is where the next card I'm talking about falters a bit. We have the baseline 4080, which in my opinion is a C tier. Not a great card. For the money you're spending, you're getting decent performance, but the price it came out at, $1,200 or whatever, absolutely ridiculous. There was very limited reasons to get the 4080 over the 4090. You might as well spend that extra $400 and get the big bad boy at the block, which is the 4090. Why would you shortchange yourself? You're already spending a stupid amount of money. Spend a bit more, get something a bit better. And unfortunately, that is the marketing NVIDIA did. They basically used the 4080 as a scapegoat for allowing the 4090 to be priced the way it did. the 4090 looked so attractive because the 4080 was shoehorned in a place of complete uselessness. Then we have the 4080 Super. This is superior to the 4080, marginally, slightly more CUDA cores, not a huge uplift, I think around 500 more CUDA cores, marginally better clock rate, same VRAM. Unfortunately, despite the price being much better, I don't think it offers the same value proposition as the 4070 Ti Super. I'd say it's a low beat here, you know, only because AMD doesn't really have something that can match the ray tracing performance at the 4070 Ti Super level and above. And for that reason, the 4080 Super has a position in the market. It is still overpriced, but it exists with a valid reason. And at the top, the cream of the crop, the 4090, I was thinking of putting this S tier initially, but now I've really thought about it. I don't think any of the 4000 series are really S tier cards. Compared to the price gouging, some of these were downright steals compared to the 3000 series because the mining boom, the crypto boom ended. But regardless, I'd have to give it a high A tier. And I'd put it in front of the 4070 Ti Super because the fact of the matter is this is the best performance money can buy realistically, and for that reason it has to be rated, and it is a good increase in performance. And price wise, it was an improvement in some ways compared to the price gouging days. However, it is still a heinous amount of money to spend. That being said, at least you get your 24 gigabytes of VRAM. At least you get almost 16,384 CUDA cores, which is crazy, and a good clock speed. With at that, I think there's room for overclocking with a lot of the board partner cards as well. So for that reason, the 4090 has to be respected. But yeah, that's my position. I don't think any of these cards, the NVIDIA cards, were actually S tier. And that's just my opinion. And I think that was done on purpose because they don't have to release an S tier card. There is no competition. They can get away with murder, and they have been. And realistically, none of these cards are terrible, but none of them are 1080 Ti's. None of them are at that level. In fact, none of them are 3080s either. They're just okay. They're all right. You know, value proposition is there, not perfect. But yeah, catch you guys later. Peace.